The important point here is don't try to be perfect from the get-go. There's no need for that. The message, what you want to put out about your product, service, whatever it is, that has to be good.
Yeah, I agree.
That has to be like coming from
your
inside,
heart.
right?
Yes.
And people will pick that up.
Welcome to another episode of the Creative Spin Podcast. Buckle up, you're in for a show.
Oh my God. Okay, are you ready to start?
No.
Because, everything is recording. Did you know that? This has just become one of those ASMR videos. Me drinking coffee. This is becoming very weird, very fast. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Spin Podcast. And right here with me, the one and only Anna Fernandes. How's it going?
Iria.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Just take my name.
You know that back in the 16th century was the other way around. I'm
and
fine.
I would have
How are
zero
you?
problems with that as well. This whole debate of the names back and forth, I really, I honestly think everybody should keep their names.
Yeah, and I did. It's Fernandes-Iria.
Yeah, and that was your choice. I had no issue whatsoever if you decided to not have that beautiful last name. But, it is what it is. I just don't think it matters. I never understood that.
I had a huge discussion about this when I was doing my master's because it was about that, right? The guy that I was studying had a Portuguese last name and he was French. And everyone was like, but is he Portuguese? Is he not Portuguese? And
sorry, I'm just fixing the mic because I feel like this is so stretched over there. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was saying, well, it's just because in the 15th, 16th centuries, it was a common practice that it was the husband that used to get the wife's last name.
So there you go.
Boy,
that works too.
I opened Pandora's box with that argument, but it's okay.
Yeah, but by the way, this podcast has nothing to do with last names. Has nothing to do with that. It has all to do with video marketing. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, come on. I told you just before the show started. Stop lying. Jeez.
And people will believe
people out there are going to go, oh, he doesn't say anything before they go on air. Like, why is he so rude? I'm not rude, man. She's lying.
I am. No, I didn't know.
All right. So this is going to be our new setup for the home, quote unquote, studio, quote unquote.
I like it.
You know what? If you guys have been following us for a while, you know how many times I've turned things around. But I think finally I figured it out.
Well, it's kind of your fault because you have a nice space where each corner is a really nice angle, right?
But it was done purposely for that.
I know.
When we decided
3
years ago already, when we decided to renovate this whole section and create this studio, right away I'm like, okay, I'm going to be creating a lot of content, so I want to have different angles for the studio, so I'm able to do different things, focusing on different areas of the room, and I think, I'm starting to really utilize those angles for video. And hey, we're going to be talking about video marketing, so there you go. But this one will most likely be the one that I'm going to stick with. We have the wide angle, we have my angle, we have your angle, the lights are there, everything is nice and cool. We got the background, which is, by the way, this is not a set per se. This is my actual studio. I work over here every single day, standing up. And Anna works on that side sometimes whenever she wants. She's the boss. So
excuse me.
It is what it is.
Want.
Yeah. So that's how it rolls around here. It's the honest truth.
I shall keep that in mind.
To everything that happens
because
around
I
here.
Will say
you like
I don't
my mic?
Want to.
Look at my mic.
Change topic.
Look at that. I just got the.
You did change topic.
The pod mic.
Yeah. Is that a new one?
Yeah, it is.
It sounds really good.
It does. We might get another one for you. So that things.
Oh, I'm worth it.
It's not that, gosh darn it. Why do you always have to take it that way?
I do like that mic. It's very nice.
The reason why I didn't get two is because I'm testing this one out. Okay. There's no point in getting 2 mics that you haven't tested to begin with. And then what if you don't like the sound of the mics, and then you're going to have to send back twice the headaches. You know what I mean?
Very
so
true.
I got this one. We already did a live stream yesterday for the Creative 7
It works really
channel.
well.
By the way, you guys, if you haven't checked that out, it's actually playing in the back. See? It's all about knowing what angle to have things showing. Yeah, put it playing in the back there. That went well. That was an hour of conversation about news, about tech stuff, about YouTube channels, about podcasting, about, oh my God, we spoke about so many things. It was so much fun. And we're going to be doing that every Friday at 7. So Creative 7 at 7. Oh my God. Today's just like full of so many good ideas.
You know, I agree.
It's good that she's agreeing. I'm happy that you're agreeing to stuff. So let's get back into the topic. I mean, I don't get her to agree to me a lot of times, so it's good.
I do agree with you. What are you talking about?
All right, so I went for a quick Google search, even though I do have my views and my reasonings as to why everybody that has a business or has something to sell should be doing videos. I have my 2 cents on that. I still went online because I wanted to say, you know what, I'm not the only guy that's thinking this way. More and more people are thinking that same way. So that's why I found an article that actually had an infographic that is pretty cool and summarizes everything that I kind of want to go through. So I'm going to be, let's start talking about this. And, I want to get your 2 cents on what you think from a little bit of an outsider. You are part of Creative 7, but you're more the creative writer.
A lot of things I am an outsider.
You are in front of the cameras a lot because I kind of make you be in front of the cameras. But you're more in tune with the whole creative writing aspect of things, not so much the technical video aspect of the
mics.
company.
I am not a big fan of cameras.
I know. Every time I switch on the cameras and the lights, this is Anna's reaction.
It's the lights, not the camera. It's the lights.
It's almost like, when Dracula sees the sun and just dies.
It's true. I admire people who do TV and record things like this because it really bothers your eyes sometimes.
But listen,
maybe I should have sunglasses.
This is part of the whole idea of video marketing. If you're going to be doing a podcast, if you have a camera, why not switch it on?
I agree.
Even if you don't have a camera per se, you have a phone. A phone has a camera. Well, there you go. Now you have a second version of that audio podcast, which is a video podcast of it that can now reside in all of these different platforms as well, as opposed to just being an audio only podcast.
And I mean, you're not live. You only publish it if you want it to, if you are comfortable with the idea. No one is forcing you to do that. But
absolutely,
having it is a great idea because then you can say, oh, you know what, maybe I should use this instead of, damn, I should have recorded that because that was actually good what I was saying.
Yeah, sorry, I was turning this and I made some noise.
So,
but you know what? I was even speaking to a client yesterday and I was telling her that, even if you don't use your videos, the ones that you record them anyways.
Yeah.
No, but record them because while you're recording them, you're actually getting better at it, right?
Yeah, I agree.
See it as a practice round, Start recording stuff and then look back at it and you can see what you've been doing wrong.
And you can tell, like I've seen some of our clients, some of other people online that when they start, they're very, I don't want to say nervous, but they're like very uptight and overthinking, I guess what they're saying. And then
I call it the red light syndrome.
Maybe. And then as time progresses, they're at ease and they become awesome people in front of the camera, and I mean their podcasts are a delight to listen to, right?
Well, because this is the thing. I call it the red light syndrome because it's so mathematical. It's the red light goes on and people change.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
But they only change because they're not used to it, and that's what I'm trying to say is, you know what? Switch on the camera. Try to record as much as you can. Watch those recordings back, and you're gonna pick up so many things that you do that aren't right. It's not that they're wrong. It's that they might not feel as good once the recording is done as you would want it to be. I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
Absolutely.
A couple of the things, and I used to do it a lot, and I still do it a lot, is I find that I say
There you go.
I got my ums a lot.
There are things like that.
I guess that comes from the radio background because we're used to.
You can't have silent spots.
Well, now things are different. I think everybody's evolved in that. But there was this thing that you can't have any part of your radio show without any sound.
Yeah.
When now
it's beginning to change. Yeah.
Well, it's beginning to change because a lot of times a good silent moment makes a point.
It's actually that. It's good.
Right? So you're saying something, and when you say something and you pause, then it becomes real. You know?
Where before you used to have like sound effects, whing, 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 or whatever, but it could never be silent.
Yeah, there was always, remember the olden days of radio where I'm going to kind of put a song here so I can, showcase how it was done.
Oh my God, no.
People would be speaking and the music would then fill in that little blank.
Oh, and I had training as and you used to talk like that, and it was like, oh my gosh, I never did that.
You would have to speak this way. I mean, you can't be on radio and not speak this way. And then those odd, like they
it used to be really odd, yeah.
They would break the sentence in a really weird spot
where it's not supposed to be broken,
and they would be speaking in this kind of way, almost like the DJs. Remember?
You're actually doing a good job because some of them used to put the volume so high for the music and then so low again, and it was this roller coaster.
We're going back into the days that the actual announcer would be the one controlling the sound and all of that.
Yeah.
Because guess what, kids?
Why not?
We're getting old on this end of the camera, and we used to work at a radio station where we had to do everything from sound production.
And I'm glad we did.
Yeah, because that's what got us to where we are today, and we understand how things work and all of that. But come on, it's not the right way to do it, right?
It was crazy.
It was insane. I mean, we had to take care of all of the commercials, pick music,
everything,
news, you name it. We had to structure everything. I mean, it was crazy confusing, but you're right. It what got us
the best school ever. Yeah.
Exactly. It got us to the point where we are today, and we
had
we
fun.
enjoy that.
You had fun after a while.
Oh, of course. And whenever you screwed up, it would be even more fun.
I remember doing 3-4 hours, sometimes even 5, but normally used to be 3 to 4 hours. And I'd get to the last 15 minutes, and I'd be like, wow,
time just flew by.
Yeah. Where the heck did time go? And it's true because and whenever you had the journalist in to do the news, you could actually take a coffee break here and there. But sometimes if that person was sick or if something showed up and you had to do it all, it was nuts. I remember, playing a song and being on the computer writing the
nowadays.
It was cool.
Nowadays, we don't give. I don't think most radio stations give the radio announcer the
option
capability of putting music on, and thank God for that. Things have changed a lot, right? And now, especially in the last year, with this whole situation going on in the world, more and more people had to turn to video and to doing things online if they wanted to do anything, really. I mean, with all of the closures and all of this staying at home situation, there was really not much of a choice for a lot of people to be able to just get onto the camera and do their Zoom calls or whatever you're using for the calls. But people had to get used to being in front of a camera. All of a sudden, they went from probably, doing their... Every once in a while, they would do something for social media, but now
it was probably were not even doing anything other than pictures, right?
Yeah. So it was a big shift, and that shift is now very noticeable when it comes to the marketing side of things, and especially now that we're talking about video marketing. 2021 is looking a lot like the biggest year for video marketing, and it has to do a lot with the situation that we're going through, right? A lot of the trends are going to go into video because of that, and because more and more people are on their phones watching video and consuming video through their mobile devices. So it just makes sense. If you have your revenue for that year that is going to be dedicated for your marketing, you will definitely need to put most of it on video. Now,
and I think it's a wise decision.
Yeah, it is. And the all of these points that we're going to be going through very quickly do illustrate the reason why you should be doing it. And we're just going to go one by one and kind of give our 2 cents on each one of the topics as well, just because we can. What the hell, you know?
We can agree to disagree.
Absolutely. So apparently video usage in 2021, they are saying that 99% of video marketers say, marketers, it sounded a little bit like New York right there. So 99% of video marketers say, I said it again, I don't know why, say that the plan is to continue video in the future. Obviously, if you're into video marketing, if into marketing as a whole, you know that video is going to be the way to go. So it's obvious the reason why 99% of marketers want to go that way.
I'm actually surprised it's not 100%.
Well, there's always that oddball, right?
There's always that odd.
The guy that loves going against everything else. Like, no.
Gee, those exist?
I'm not doing video. Oh. I'm doing smoke signals. Because I can. And that's the way.
Smoke signals?
Okay, let's continue.
Oh my God.
The live stream boom on mobiles. In 2021, the average U.S. consumer will have 9.5 video streaming apps installed on their smartphone.
Say that again?
In 2021, the average U.S. consumer will have 9.5 video streaming apps.
Wow.
Yeah. I just feel sorry for the 0.5. He's not getting the whole thing. You're only getting half of the app there.
Must be the smoke signal.
But whatever. It is what it is. I mean, if you think about it, if 9 apps are going to be living on your phone that are dedicated to video.
That's crazy, yeah.
Need I say more? More short form videos.
That's cool.
Short form videos like TikTok and Instagram Reels will trend. And the word trend is like huge. Trend in 2021. I think it's been trending
for a while.
Now. I mean, you can go back to, and I'm going to age myself a little bit because I'm going to talk about one of the first ones that were out there, from Meerkat to Periscope to obviously.
What was the one for 6 seconds? Vine?
Oh, yeah.
Vine,
that was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
But that was more, I guess, yeah.
That was video.
That was, yep.
That was video,
Listen,
right?
I got it. I made a mistake. It was a small mistake, but I made it. But yeah, I mean, people have been doing the short video thing for a while. I think it's going to continue. People are more and more used to this. Remember, I keep aging ourselves here, but...
Yeah, you don't need to mention it as often, but okay.
Listen, we're all getting old here. Okay, let's go back to the thing. People... When we started using the apps, social media apps, we were kind of, I wouldn't say embarrassed, but we weren't used to shooting selfies.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I remember.
You felt awkward. I think that was
I remember when I was in high school, if somebody brought a camera, which was like, who are you bringing a camera into school? Stalker. And if somebody was trying to take a picture, half of the people were like, okay, I'm going to hide
or
behind
this guy.
They were hiding, and there was that feeling like, I don't know if it was embarrassment, but it was just one of those things like people were not in tune to taking pictures.
Pictures were meant to be taken for like special occasions.
Yeah, it was a special occasion, the holidays, the family thing.
You want to record your vacation, Christmas, whatever. So I think that was the perception. And again, if you brought that camera to school, it was to create a memory. Either the school year was over and you wanted to remember that group of friends you had, or it had to be special.
Looking back, I don't know if I have a lot of pictures of myself between the ages of 14 and 18.
I don't.
I think those years were gone. They're not even registered.
And I have a friend, we're still very good friends from high school. She was the opposite. She took a lot
good for
of
her.
pictures. And now
she's not putting them in
she's the TBT girl, as I call her. Every Thursday she will bring up like a picture from high school or most of the time from high school, but band and whatever.
I've seen one of you.
Oh, you've seen plenty. She's been putting in many.
But anyways,
good for her because I don't have that, right?
But all of this to say that you see the shift in people. You know, you go from our generation where we weren't used to taking selfies and taking a lot of pictures to now we're okay with the situation, but we're not even close to our kids. Let's say, as an example, we have a teenager in the house that doesn't have a problem just switching the camera on and shooting a selfie, and doing video as well. Yeah. So now video became that other thing that, excuse me.
Are you okay?
It was the coffee. I always do this. No, but I love coffee. I'm addicted to it.
Me too, but you know.
So the video is not the new thing that everybody's used to doing, just switching on the camera and doing that. And the trend is just going to go that way. It's just much easier to come across with the right message on TikTok or Instagram, whatever platform they're using. It's just so much easier to get that message across when you're doing video as opposed to trying to take a picture and writing stuff and doing all that.
And people don't want to read as much, I find.
Yeah,
I'm odd when it comes to
you know what?
that.
Interestingly enough, this is all going to tie into the next topic of this slide, which is user-generated video content. So apparently, users arriving on an e-commerce website will via user-generated video content. So if they saw someone record a video and they click on it to go check that product out, they're 184% more likely to buy that product.
Wow.
I don't know where they're taking these numbers from. I don't know if it's just like a magical hat.
I was going to say, is this based on a study or something?
Okay, there's studies here. Yeah. Apparently, this is from... I don't have my glasses on. I'm getting old. Yeah, it's a study done by someone. 184%. That's crazy, man.
That is, yeah. That's a big percentage right there.
So let's start paying attention to that. And it comes back to the user-generated. People like to see the real deal. People like to see the real person behind the company, behind that product and the service or whatever it is.
And you don't need to be perfect.
No, actually, I actually say that you do not want to be too perfect. Yeah. Mistakes happen when we're having a conversation on a day-to-day life. We are stumbling around. I mean, look at me right now. I'm doing this podcast and I'm stumbling all over the place, but it is what it is, you know, and that's the real deal. And people like that.
I feel that, yes, because perfection does not exist, you know, and I can get into a philosophical thing now.
I mean,
but yeah. Okay. But why are we trying to, whenever it comes to content, notice I'm ignoring it. When it comes to content, why is there a need to be perfect when we're not perfect? Like,
no, we're not.
This idea of perfection is really non-existent.
And with that, I want to add a little other point to that is a lot of people have the attitude that they want to be perfect themselves. And then everything around them has to be perfect in terms of the right camera and the right lighting and the right background.
It doesn't work because then you look fake, at least to me.
Well, I don't want that to be the issue for you not to do the video, right?
Just do it.
We have the right cameras, we have the right lighting, the nice little background, but we wouldn't stop doing the videos or the podcast because we didn't have this. No. When we started doing this stuff, we had only one camera.
Yeah, I remember that.
We only had the regular lights that were in the room, and there was the little recorder we had. Actually, we started with the phone.
Yes.
And then we went into the Zoom at H6, and now we have the Rodecaster. And that's fine. Evolve if you want to evolve, if you want to invest, if you want to take care of that image, great. You should. That is a good thing. Yeah. But the important point here is don't try to be perfect from the get-go. There's no need for that. No. The message, what you want to put out about your product, service, whatever it is, that has to be good.
Yeah, I agree.
That has to be like coming from inside, right?
Yes.
And people will pick that up. If you're talking about, I keep comparing the mugs, but because I always have a mug in front of me, but if you sell mugs, then you're going to be talking about this mug like it's the best thing in the world. And you're going to know exactly who did this mug, how it's made, what kind of ingredients come into the making of this mug, and how it's produced and how it's delivered and all of that.
Should I talk about grammar?
No. But
it would be the mug story.
It would be the mug story. But that's my point, is you need to be really good at what you're talking about. Don't worry so much about how things are going to be recording. Don't worry so much if the hair isn't perfect, or if the t-shirt or the suit or whatever it is that you're wearing isn't 100% perfect. And whoever's in the comment section that is going to pinpoint the fact that your tie was crooked or your shirt was wrinkled or whatever, then that person doesn't really matter to you.
Pay no attention.
Because if you're trying to sell something or to just explain something, and that person decided to take a moment out of their life to criticize the way that you're
so insignificant
as your tie being crooked, then you know what? There's no point for that. Anyways, well, let's continue on. We have a whole bunch more things. Look at all those slides. Right?
Wow.
Right?
There's a lot there.
There is a lot. Today's podcast is brought to you by Workplace One, a company offering boutique private offices, co-working spaces, and virtual office solutions, as well as meeting rooms in the best neighborhoods of Toronto and Kitchener-Waterloo. Ideal for entrepreneurs, companies, and passionate business people. Workplace One is where you want to be with your business. For more information, go over to workplaceone.com. The next point here is online training and educational videos. And this is something that you've been working on and with for a while in terms of education, in terms of, e-learning and all of that kind of stuff. It apparently it grew by 36.3%. Again, I don't know about these numbers, man.
I'm actually surprised.
I am actually surprised. I don't know if they're accounting for the schools that had to go online all this time.
Well, it's not video, right? So when you're teaching, you're really not...
It's still video.
But I guess, if I understand that correctly, I think they're talking about, the videos that I sometimes make they're not live. It's just as a study tool for my students.
Oh, I see. You do almost like a presentation in which you talk over the presentation to teach them
and a lot of times I'm not even on that video other than my voice.
Yeah, but nonetheless, it is a video, right? It's just a different type of video, but it is still a video. And it's surprising. I actually thought that this number would be higher, to be honest with you, because of all
otherwise it is way higher.
I think so, too.
Yeah, if it's based on what I'm understanding, that the teacher sits down and does that. When I do that, and where I prepare a lesson and then I record it and I make it available on Google Classroom. If that's that, then I can see this number.
God, you're so technically advanced.
Thanks to you. But actually, thanks to you. But if it's then doing Zoom and your regular class, then that percentage is way higher.
But nonetheless, it's a pretty big percentage.
It is. It really is.
Nonetheless, it's still a big percentage. So, and it's just going to keep on growing this year, obviously. So if you are into doing, any type of online training for your company, or, a lot of people are offering courses to talk about podcasting or talk about video stuff. So they create these video courses, so they put online. So that's growing. That's growing like crazy, because you can literally do a video training for anything you want, really. Yeah. So I can see this growing even more this year as well. The other one is the video advertising growth. Obviously, I mean, this all makes sense. It all comes down to this. Where are you spending your money? You're going to be spending it where that you're going to get the results.
It makes sense.
It just makes total sense. The number, though, is pretty impressive. The money that is spent on digital video ads is forecasted to reach, are you ready? I know I have a sound effect there, but I don't know which button it is. So I'm not going to attempt. I might get crickets or something. So the number forecasted might reach 12.66 billion.
Advertising?
By 2024, though. Okay, it's not just this year. But that's kind of crazy. That's a lot of money.
Holy cow.
That's I mean,
That's an average.
it makes
of
total sense.
3 billion a year until 20.
Oh, don't ask
not
me to
even
do any math. I'm a designer, man.
Yeah, well, I'm not a mathematician myself, but
So don't get yourself into hot water, man.
3 to 4, something like that.
So that shows you. I mean, if people are willing to spend all of this money into video, it's obvious that video works. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
well,
preaching to the choir. I think. If you're listening or watching
it's
us at
because you
this
believe.
point,
Yeah.
you probably are believing what we're saying because you're watching a video or you're listening to a podcast. So it only makes sense that you understand what we're talking about. We're just kind of going through it just to kind of
But maybe there is that one
the
person
why, right?
that actually has an interest in watching and is saying, maybe I should do this.
or that has been
Yeah,
thinking
and- yeah.
a lot about it,
and
has a
is
company,
looking for
is
reasons to be
looking-
convinced.
Exactly. You know, and that's when my advice when it comes to that is try to start. Well, everything depends on the person's budget and what the company's budget is when it comes to advertising and marketing. But start allocating a big portion of that marketing amount to video. And now my advice is ask someone. Don't just start by watching YouTube videos and trying to figure things out on your own. I mean, that's great to get you kind of your feet wet, but there are a lot of little details on the whole process of how to record the video, how to get it properly done and all of that. You know, just talk to a company, talk to someone
Yeah.
that knows how to create the videos properly, what do you do when after you have a video done? Like, what can you do with the video? How can you, put it out to all of these platforms and all of that? Those people, those professionals will advise you in the best way. And then you can kind of do it on your own, right? Phones have great cameras. You've got a lot of editing tools that most of them are free, so it's just one of those things that you can do it yourself. Yeah. Now, it also becomes a time issue as well. This is not a quick and easy thing to do. It might look like it's simple. If you just grab a camera and you're good at talking to the camera and you can do a couple of live streams or whatever, then it is going to be okay. Yeah. If you want to do certain type of block videos in which you explain things about your company and all of that, and you want to make sure that you're advertising it or putting them out into the right platforms and yada, 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 then it becomes a more time consuming aspect of your life. And you have to see if you have that time to do it all yourself. Once you're a small company, sometimes there's no other choice. You have to do it all yourself. And I'm going to just open a little parenthesis here. I hear a lot of people nowadays saying, oh, you can create 100 pieces of content or 50 pieces of content or 23 or 25, whatever it is, the number. Yes and no.
Spread out or like
a day, that you're supposed to put. And I get that. Yeah, of course. If I was able to put 100 pieces of content a day for Creative 7, of course I would do it. Obviously, the more
I'm
stuff.
just thinking, could I create that much? Like, could I have enough topics?
I am.
You, I know you can.
No. No, I can't do that. Not 100 pieces or even 50. There's a lot of work involved with this kind of stuff.
Even if you have a team working for you.
Well, I was going to open that exception. If you do have a team, then you're going to have like a team of 4, 5, 10 people working for you, because you need your photographer, your video guy, your editor, your copywriter, your photoshopper, there are a lot of little bits and pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah, I would say
for you to be able to put out content, that much content every single day,
that is relevant. Otherwise, there's no point.
It's going to be hard. I mean, it's going to be really, really hard. It is what it is. Even if you hire a company, I mean, that company, if you get into a contract with them that you say, I want to have 20 pieces of content out every day, dude, you got to get ready, because this company or this person or these people, they're not going to be able to create just out of thin air content for your company. So you got
to follow you.
Exactly. They're going to have to follow you around or get content from you. So you're still spending time creating that content with them. They might be doing the back end of things, of getting things edited and ready for the stuff.
I don't mean this in a bad way, but they're in your face all the time.
They have to be. They have to be. And guess what? That is the best way to get yourself out there and to just speed up the process. But let's be realistic. when you're looking at small companies or people
can't
that
do
have like a team of 4 or 5 up to 10 people, how can you, one person is going to dedicate their whole time into to working on just solely marketing online? Yeah, I mean, that would be great, but will it work? We know that it works. Online marketing works. Being able to put stuff on social media, videos and podcasting and all that stuff, yeah, it works. But what I'm trying to say is when you're a small company and you have those bills coming in to pay, it can get really tight in order for you to be able to spend all of that money there. Like,
and then you can't focus because you have all these other things that you need to think about.
I just want to say it's not that easy.
Yeah.
People make it seem like it's, oh, why aren't you doing all? Well, it's not that easy, dude.
No. You need to make a decision at the end of the day.
You need to make that decision. If you don't have enough clients and you're looking for more clients and all of that, then yeah, you should definitely look into that. We've been fortunate that throughout the 16 years that I've had Creative 7, it hasn't just been social media. You know, before that,
we kept yourself busy. Yes,
we've always been busy because I still today still focus on that, which is the best way to keep having business is to do good work, to be good to people, to follow up with them, to be a human being behind that phone call or behind that video call nowadays. But you need to be that guy. You know, you need to be there for your client. And guess what? What's going to happen is that client will get you 5, 10 more clients throughout the years. And that's what makes your company grow and makes you be comfortable in
it's referrals.
It's all about the referrals. And a lot of people put social media and online marketing in a bubble on its own and take away that human aspect out of it. And this kind of relates back to one of the points that we were talking about of people being the ones doing their own, being user-generated content. It comes back to that. People want to see the real person behind that brand, that name, right?
For sure.
You know this. A lot of people that call Creative 7, they know who they're going to get. Right now, it's going to be me. But even if there's somebody else getting the phone, they know they can get to me easily.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is that I made that choice. I'm not saying it's the best choice. If you want to have a company of 100, 200, 1,000 people, whatever, that's your thing. I decided not to do that and do it in a smaller way, in a way that I'm more comfortable with.
Yeah.
I decided to not go too crazy with my life, and it's still crazy. It's still insane.
There are days that it's pretty hectic.
And I think a lot of people that are starting off, and this kind of goes off to people that are starting, to get into the market of starting their own business and all of that. It's important to have an end goal, but my advice is to always be careful with the humongous dreams, because you can get tired very quickly. I mean, when I say tired in the sense of you can burn out.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And it's quick, man.
For sure.
You can burn out really, really quick, because that year you open the company, you're single, and you have all the time in the world to do everything you want and imagine. Then all of a sudden you get a partner, and then you get a dog, and then you get kids, and then you want another car, and then you buy a house, and then all these things are coming in and flying in, and you're like, man, I need to rest. I've been sleeping 2 hours a night, and it doesn't work anymore, right? No. And I think what happens is that sometimes it's better to really focus, get your company going in an organized fashion, systemize things so that then it becomes easier for you to grow and then grow.
And there is always, not just with business, the professional life, our careers, but a lot has to do with business as well. You need to be able to find your definition of success and what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Many times when I'm speaking to, whether it's business people or, professionals from my field or other areas, I often hear them say, well, but we're supposed to have a big house, and we're supposed, because this shows we made it.
And sometimes it comes from a culture thing too.
And
right?
Again, but you have to be able to say, wait a minute, where is this coming from? Is it my culture? Is it was at home, or is it me? Is this my definition of success? Find your definition of success.
Or they say it's keeping up with the Joneses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if your definition of success is to have a company with 1,000 people, then yes, work for that.
Yeah, of course.
If your definition of success is to rent a house, rent a house.
It
has to make sense to you. You need to find the balance that makes you happy. Don't pay attention to what society puts
100%.
on you,
I
right?
agree. And what I was saying right now, I'm not by no means whatsoever
Mm-hmm.
saying don't start your business because it's a headache.
No, find that definition. What makes you happy, right?
I'm saying if you want to start your business, start it, but
Yeah.
make sure that you know that it is going to be a headache.
and not pay attention to what others
Right? But
may be saying. Yeah.
Do you and don't worry. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Don't
yeah.
worry about everybody else, because you know what? There's always going to be somebody with a better looking car, a bigger house, and nicer photos on Instagram that aren't really the truth.
Yeah.
So I don't know. How did we turn from video marketing to this?
It still is video,
boy.
right?
It is.
You
It is.
showcase it.
So I'm going to just kind of go through this really
Mm-hmm.
quickly, because a lot of this stuff, it just makes so much sense that it almost becomes irrelevant. But interactive AR content in 2021 is going to grow like crazy. I mean, and it's augmented reality and also virtual reality. We're starting to see more and more of it. We're going to see more and more of it in the next few years. It looks like it's going to be about a 70 billion.
We're talking billions today.
It's
I
all
don't know
billions.
why.
So
How many zeros?
it's a big market. Let's just put it that way. It's a big market. And, you know, I've been looking into a couple of things as well, because you need to always keep up with
Yes,
stuff
I
and
agree.
innovate and see what can or cannot be done. This one is an interesting one. Shoppable videos. They provide higher engagement rates than display advertising. And that's kind of where they're seeing the trend starting this year more and more. So that's an interesting one, having a video explaining the product and all of that. Again, if you can,
Go for it.
go for it, right? Virtual events, this is a big one. This was a big change this year of 2020 to 2021. All of the events out there, they had to go virtual if they wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
That was essentially it.
So
that was
they're
the
here
bottom
to
line.
stay.
And they're here to stay. So 7 out of 10 event organizers moved their in-person events online in 2020. That kind of says,
Do you feel that this was already a trend that was waiting to happen, but
100%.
with COVID, it just had to happen, right?
Yeah,
But
it was already there.
I think
mean,
it was there. Like,
Yeah. Most of these events were already in person,
Yeah.
but they also had the online option to them.
Yeah.
Now it's just, you know what? It is what it is. It is the new world we live in this
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
And people just said, okay, you know what? We have to move everything. It's either that or we have to shut it off and not have it.
And I think that even when, because I don't think it's an if, I think it's a when, we go back to being normal again, if that's the right word.
Yeah.
I think this option is a good option for people. You
I think
don't
it will
always
continue.
Have to be.
I don't think we're going to go back to what life was before. I think a lot of people have this idea that, okay,
you're gonna put this behind. I don't think
yeah,
so.
no.
Yeah.
I think this was, again, going back to what you were saying, and I 100% agree. This was happening already.
Yeah.
It was just at a slower pace because you had the option
Options.
of being in person
And-
or going on
I
virtually.
think people were not 100% comfortable with the idea. I mean, we were introduced to Zoom and teaching using Zoom 5-6 years ago,
Yeah.
remember? And it was a cool idea. And there was an interest. There were some students interested in doing it,
Yeah.
but you did not have the bigger numbers that you have now. It was there, right?
Well, the whole difference when it comes to the numbers was really, you know, everybody's in lockdown and now they have
Yeah.
there's not much of a choice. And I think going back to what's going to happen after things get better, right? Let's say in a year from now, things are getting better, things are under control out there. We're able to somewhat go back to a quote unquote more normal, interactive, in-person way. I don't think this is going to disappear. I think people
don't
are
think
seeing
so.
the value.
Yeah.
Let's say when it comes to working at home or in the office, I think you're not going to see a lot of people. See, the ones that have shifted to being able to work from home, I don't think they're going to shift to go back to the office 100%. I think there's going to be somewhere in the middle where you will probably be given a choice. Do you want to work from home? Do you want to work in an office environment? Do you want to do both? Do you want to just come to the office 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week? Are companies just going to do that for meetings? Let's say if they want to do a meeting with a client, they want to do it in person. But meetings now can be done online as well. So I think we're going to go into a next phase, which is going to be the options. And the online, the video, and all of these things, that option is going to weigh a lot more than it did before, because now everybody's used to it. Until
it was
last
waiting
year,
to happen, and now it just jumped into that.
Up until last year, a lot of people knew about it. I know people are doing video conferences. I know I can attend that online, but I'd rather go in person. There was all of that because you had the choice. There was no issues.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh damn, I don't have a choice. So let me get with the program and figure this out. And I don't think we're going to go back to what it was before.
Absolutely. And like for me as a teacher, it can get tricky having so many students on the other side for engaging. Like adult students, you engage them because they're there for a purpose, right? They want to be there. They want to learn something.
But I also think that even in that aspect, things are now starting to change because you guys weren't doing it 100%.
That's what I mean. It still is, but with younger students, high school is my field. It's in some cases it's hard to still engage them. Better than it was last year when we started with the lockdown, but still a little harder. However,
let's say as an example, sorry to interrupt you, but like when I look at our kid when he's in class, when I walk upstairs and he's in his room in school and he's interacting with the other kids, it is amazing to see how quickly his age group, he's 10 years old, how quickly they're just, they're sitting in the classroom.
And I have to disagree with some of the parents that say kids hate it. No, they don't. I have not seen that. Yes, they want to be in school.
Kids
of
miss
course,
the integration,
the social aspect,
and that is valid.
Of course, it is, and it is needed. But don't say they hate online because that's a very small percentage. I can speak. Every student I talk to, they're fine.
Kids were born with screens in front of them.
Some of them really enjoy it, right? And myself as a teacher, I don't dislike it either.
So here's my view on that. Listen, I think that once this whole thing gets better and they are able to go back to school, great. Kids need to go back to school to be social.
That social aspect is important.
To run around and be a kid. I get that. But I think
video is good.
But I think videos is going to be good. Let me give you an example. We live in Canada. It snows here. It gets really cold here.
It was damn cold yesterday.
Right? But if you have an option to keep your kid at home, if you have that capability as well as a parent to stay at home with your son, let's say as an example, on a very snowy day or a very cold day, but you know that he has the opportunity to log into the classroom through his computer and attend school at home instead of having to go onto the road and face a snowstorm and get into cold weather and all of that. Why wouldn't that be available? How much of a difference will it be?
Actually, we had a snowstorm. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? One of those days.
And they had school.
And I told you it was the first time in I don't know many years that I didn't curse a snowstorm because I didn't have to face the crazy driving conditions, the public transportation, getting my kid to school. For the first time, I said, there you go. I don't mind a snowstorm like this. So, that option is
keeping that option open. Like my other thing
video is definitely
I think every single classroom in every single school should have a video camera and a computer capability. And I understand there's a lot of costs into this. But you know what? Guess what? I think there's a lot of money spent in the wrong places in schools and in education in general that could be realigned by somebody that has some little bit of a brain and redirect the money in the right places and put a damn camera and a computer. It's not that difficult. So that, you know what, if little Johnny can't go to let's say little Johnny got sick and he has got a little runny nose. Why Are we going to...
Why should he miss school?
Why should he miss school? Right? He can log in and have school. Why is he going to go to school with a runny nose and spread it out to every other kid in that classroom? Let's work with what we have already. Okay, we were forced into this thing now.
Let's take advantage of it.
Now we got it.
Yeah.
We understood it.
I agree.
Okay, we know how to work with this. So,
and I mean, it's meant to produce billions of dollars.
100%. If we're going to go back to a quote unquote normal life, but why do we have to now all of a sudden, why does it have to be black or white?
I agree.
You know, let's get some shades of gray. Dun, dun, dun. Anyways, you know what happens is that we start talking and we don't stop.
Yeah, we have that problem, don't we?
Guys, if you were around
this is life at home for us.
This is us. When we're having this is it. I swear to God,
we're just miss the kids.
I'm gonna put a GoPro in the middle of the dining table so that people can see how.
Just
how
imagine two kids around us, and because.
Yeah, and they're like, oh my God, what's going on?
No, they're pretty.
Good.
They contribute a lot to the discussions, especially our daughter.
Now, I think that's about it. I think everybody that's listening to this conversation, I hope you guys enjoyed it, by the way. I know it was a long conversation. I actually did not think we were going to go past the half an hour mark. And I think we're going on to like a 40-minute, 45-minute.
We yap a lot.
We yap a lot. But it was an interesting topic for me. I don't know if it was for you or for you guys that are listening, but I enjoyed it. Let us know in the comment section what you guys thought about. If you have other opinions on video marketing and where it's going. Are you doing anything different this year than you were doing last year in the video marketing side of things? And just, say hi, man. We're here. We're going to continue doing these things. And don't forget, on Fridays, check out the Creative 7 Inc., which is YouTube/Creative 7 Inc. We are doing the Friday live streams at 7. I'm going to try to tackle more and more marketing stuff and design stuff and all of that. But we also talk about what's going on in the world of tech and creative and social and marketing and all that kind of thing. So it's always a conversation going on there. But if you guys want to interact with us, just shoot us off a couple of DMs or whatever it is, whichever platform you want. We'll figure it out. We'll find you guys and we'll get the questions onto the show. And if you want to follow us live on that show, so it's at 7 o'clock, and just jump into that comment section and let us know what you want to know.
7 o'clock in Toronto.
Toronto time. Toronto. Not Toronto.
Toronto.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Anna, thank you.
My pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I like this angle. The angle looks good. Right? Look at that. Oh, the computers. Just notice it. Sounds good too.